Hello, I thought I would do some updates, seeing as I've not posted anything for a while, not had any more injections, and I'm sort of waiting for my next follow-up in November, which is kind of getting closer and closer. And I think that's why I've been struggling a bit more these past couple of weeks. There's the follow-up, there's the year anniversary of my diagnosis, which will be in November, and I'm not sure why I feel strange about that. I know for a lot of people, when it comes up to the year anniversary of such a diagnosis or any, significant life event, it tends to be difficult. So I know that that's playing on my mind. Another thing which got to me recently was that over the last couple of weeks, my eye has felt a lot less sore at work, which was great. And it's almost like I hadn't even noticed that it wasn't sore anymore. But I think I took that to mean that it was better than it was, because on Sunday, I went out and I drove more than I normally would. I go to a meditation group and normally it's a 45-minute drive there, 45-minute drive back, and that's been okay. But we were going round to somebody else's house for something to eat, so I had some extra driving to do because I was picking people up and driving them. And I felt okay, but when I got home, I just felt wiped out. I fell asleep on the sofa. My whole body just felt drained. And then yesterday, which was Monday, when I got up for work, I just felt such a lack of energy. And I know obviously you get tired driving, but this is different. And I guess I forget that even if my eye doesn't feel sore, it's not functioning as well as this eye. But the tiredness really just frustrated me. And I know at some point, I guess I'm going to have to accept it, but it just feels... I feel like, I'm 46, I'm not old, and I have to deal with this tiredness, whereas before, driving for long distances wasn't a problem. So I know that I'm going to have to either, I suppose, deal with the consequences of doing long periods of driving and factor that in, or I'm not going to drive for long periods. And it was just I felt frustrated and a bit sad. I also know is playing on my mind more because I had a dream last night. My husband and I are going to book to go to New York next year, which is great. But I had a dream last night that I was crying to a family member and saying to them, what if I don't make it to New York? So that sort of thing is very much still on my mind. I don't think that'll ever go away, but when it comes up and hits me, it's not very nice. I think I need to spend less time on social media. I've seen quite a lot of posts from people in the OM community, people who are going through it. And there are some people who are stage 4 liver mets and mets in other places, I think, as well. I really feel for those people. It's really upsetting when they post and they're upset and they're trying to deal with it. I find that I feel really sad for them, but it also can evoke a lot of anxiety in me about what if I end up in that position. And it's strange because I was worried about that. And then this morning, I do think that life kind of sends you things that you need to see sometimes. This morning I went onto Facebook and then a post came up about what you are and not in control of when it comes to ocular melanoma, and it talked about things you can do because you can't control if it metastasizes to the liver or anywhere else, but here are the things you can do, like looking after your diet and exercising and trying to live your life. And I get that I can't control it, but that's really, if someone said to me, look, if you did this, you'll reduce your risk of mets by a certain percentage. But I can't even do anything that will reduce it, and I think that's what I find hard. Because I do feel I eat fairly healthily, I exercise a lot, and I enjoy that. I find that's really good for my mental health. But knowing that these things have no bearing on mets is really hard. But I guess what I'm grateful for is that my exercise does have good benefits for me mentally, and I've been able to gradually start building up the weights that I'm lifting again, and my eye is feeling better because I wasn't really sure how much I would be able to lift after this. And I think my coach and we've gone about it the right way by doing it gradually, and plus I've been increasing my calories more to try and increase how much I can lift weight-wise. And I did lose some weight while I was off work through, I think, the worry and anxiety of all this. So I said to myself, let's try and put a bit of weight back on and try and get those lifts sort of back to They probably won't be where they used to be, but at least if I can build them up and get to a certain level, that's good. And it's working, and I'm really enjoying my weightlifting again, and I'm also doing a bit of running just for cardio health. I'm not going to any sort of extremes. I'm not going to do any marathon running, I don't think, but I'd like to build up to running a 5k. I've got a treadmill that I'm doing that, so that's all good. That's all positive. I try and focus, I guess, on what I can control, but it is hard knowing that there's so much that's not in my control. I do think my eye is becoming a little less light sensitive, but still there are times where it's quite overcast today, but I still wore sunglasses while I was driving to and from work because it was just easier, less strain on the eye. And it's strange because some days I think this subretinal fluid, I think it's worse on some days than others. Sometimes it feels like it covers more of my vision than on other days. And I found that if I want to sit and read a book, I'll put a patch over this eye because actually it just makes it easier. If I'm trying to read and I have my glasses on and I'm using both eyes, it's not entirely crystal clear, it's not crisp, and I just find that irritating. So if I patch my eye, and normally I might read for like 20 minutes and then have a break. I can't really read for that long continuously. But if I put a patch on, that really helps. It just makes it clearer. So that's good. I found a way around that. I'm defiantly still reading books, and I do have audiobooks as well, but I do like to sit down with a book. So I'm determined not to let this stop me. So yeah, like I say, the patch has been a good idea for that. I don't know if I showed you where my patch was from. Probably should get another one, but I bought this one because it's got little, if you can see it, it's got stars on it, and stars are my favourite thing. I don't know why, but I just are. So that's the thing. The website is called kfunpatch.com, I think. It's in the UK, so I guess if you're not in the UK, you've probably got patches, like websites where you are. Yeah, they do like different colours, and they do patterns, and they do patches for children as well. So that comes in handy. I also found I had to switch my eye drops out. Those are the ones that I've been using. But yeah, they're rated kind of in the middle when it comes to the dryness of your eyes. So I'm going to finish this. I haven't got much left in it, but one of my friends said that she doesn't have OM, but she uses these, and they're highly rated on Amazon. So I bought those, and it does say it's for severe dry eyes. So I'm hoping that they will be a bit better, because I find that these I know you have to put drops in multiple times a day, but literally I find I'm putting these in every hour just to kind of stave off any kind of dryness or soreness. We're going away again soon for a week. I'm looking forward to that, just having a break, and I'm going to take some books with me and read. We're going to go out for lots of walks in nature like we normally do, but yeah, generally not do too much, not exert ourselves too much. Yeah, looking forward to booking New York. I don't know if I'd said before, but we were meant to go in 2020 when it was my 40th, but obviously COVID happened. But we're going to go when it's our wedding anniversary, because my husband said, oh, why don't we renew our vows when we're there? It was our 10-year anniversary this year, and we did talk about renewing them this year, and then it just didn't happen. But then he suggested, well, why don't we do it when we go to New York? I don't think that's going to be cheap, because none of these things are they? But we'll look into that. I think that'll be quite fun to do it in America, seeing as we got married in Vegas. So I think my next injection will be September time. I don't personally think that the injections are improving or reducing the subretinal fluid, but again, they're not just for that, they're to try and reduce the radiation damage, or slow it down rather. So I might as well just keep on with them. I'm kind of used to them now. I know what the procedure is, and the last couple of times it hasn't hurt at all. I've not felt it, so that's good. I'm enjoying being back at work. It's been quite stressful at work, but I'm enjoying being back at work and having a routine, getting back into a routine. But I'm in a bit of a weird place mentally at the moment, and it just comes and goes. I mean, I never forget, but there are times where it comes into my mind and then the reality hits. The reality hits that, oh yeah, this is what it means to have cancer, and this could happen in the future. And when that hits, it's just, I still go back to, how did this happen? I'm not even trying to figure that out. I'm not blaming myself, but it's just that disbelief of how did I end up in this situation? Like never thinking it would happen to you. And I guess that's pretty normal to think that way. Feels lonely at times as well. I got an email at work that someone had nominated me for an award. I think they give out awards sort of now and then at work, and they'd said about my work ethic and how helpful I've been with doing these certain things. And I got that email came through at the end of a really stressful day at work, but also because I was sort of going through it a bit mentally with my eye, and it made me cry. And I knew who'd nominated me because they tell you who does, and I messaged them and thanked them, and I said, oh, I've been having a bit of a day today, and they asked me the next day, oh, how are you today? I don't know why, it just made me feel like, oh, somebody does care, and I know that people care, but I think at times it just feels that everybody's getting on with it, which, why shouldn't they? But it's like, things carry on like, oh, it must be okay now. It's different for the people who are sitting with it and having to live with the worry and the what ifs, and trying to live in spite of those what ifs, trying not to let the what ifs get in the way of living. And so when somebody asked me, and so when this person asked me if I was okay, I don't know, it just took me aback a bit, and then I was like, oh yeah, not really. But it's not how I feel all the time. And then there's a part of me that thinks, you know, it's nearly a year now, you should stop being so upset. And my friend said it's still early on into this of processing it, but I know what I'm like. I feel like I should be done with this now. I should be over it and just getting on, and it doesn't work like that though, does it? In other news, in typical British fashion, I have to comment on the weather. It's been absolutely baking here the last, I don't know, month. And I like a bit of sunshine, but I was so fed up with it. Today we've had a little bit of rain this morning, and it's been much cooler, and we need more rain really. Everything is so dry. The gardens are suffering. I think the poor farm animals are going to be suffering because I think the farmers have started to feed their cattle winter feed because there's nothing there. So I'm grateful for the cooler weather, because the hot weather wasn't helping my eye either. That was drying it out quite a bit. But again, I guess this is just all stuff to deal with, isn't it? So I'm thankful for the cooler weather. I'm sure there'll be those that are cursing my name for wanting rain, but we need a bit of rain. My dog, it was funny, my dog was clearly so fed up with the hot weather as well, that when I was at work, my husband sent me a photo that we'd had a little bit of rain, and she went out in the garden and sat in the rain, and she normally hates rain. She doesn't like it, but she was just sat in the rain cooling down, which I thought was hilarious. But just, yeah, typical, we're all fed up of it now. Let's have a bit more rain. So I hope that's been a helpful update. So what are we now? We're middle of August. Yeah, if I have any more updates, I will let you know. I may feel the need to do another video as I get close to follow-up date. To be honest, I think I'm more bothered about the anniversary, thinking about what was happening at that time and where I was this time last year, what was going on with my eye while I was in that waiting period of actually being seen, and I was getting more and more anxious because I started having symptoms, and just, yeah, playing back that kind of the months leading up to getting diagnosed. I feel that's what's going on for me at the moment. But I don't know, I guess that's normal. You'll have to let me know if that happened with you. What is normal? We all deal with this differently, don't we? There'll be some similarities and differences, and none of it's good or bad, it just is. So on that note, I'm going to go, and I will speak to you again at some point soon. Bye.